What's up, everyone? This is Midnight Strike 3625 in the flesh, in case you haven't noticed. I know I've been very busy over the last couple weeks, and I haven't been able to upload a video. It's partially due to the fact that I had a giant final to do for college. I just completed that a couple days ago, and of course my health has been kind of wavering this week. I've been having a fever and sick, sore throat, and aches, chills, all that fun, awesome stuff. So I'm sick, but I feel like making this video today because it's been a very long time since I've actually come on camera on this channel and done that. So we're going to finish up catch-up months with my review of Amaranthe's latest studio album, 2014's Massive Addictive. Now, is this the album that we've all been waiting for from this band? Has it topped The Nexus, which I actually hailed as their best studio album up to that point, topping even their brilliant debut album? Well, in short answer, no. I'm going to give this album a little bit of a mixed review. That is because I think it is a good album, but it's not quite up there with their first two. I would actually go on to say that it's average when you compare it to their first two albums. But for all intents and purposes, let's just compare it on its own merit. This is definitely a standout album for a lot of different reasons. It actually brings out a lot of different elements. Their old vocalist for the Uncleans actually quit after this, and they hired someone who I actually prefer on this album. I think his screams bring out a whole new level of aggression on these songs that hadn't really been sought out before. I don't know, I just prefer his level of screaming, or at least the sound and the style of screaming, when it comes to how he actually screams the verses. It's especially prevalent in Drop Dead Cynical. It just seems like he's got more feeling to it, more angst, more aggression, and it definitely fits the songs perfectly, especially, like I said, Drop Dead Cynical, what's another one, Over and Done, Trinity is, I think they scream a little bit in that one, but I'm not entirely sure, but that one is more of a melodic song in general, and it's one of the softer ones, actually, kind of like Amaranthe and Burn With Me off of their first two albums, but with the addition of a new vocalist to complete the trifecta of vocalists with Elise Ride, the other male vocalist, I don't know. The only band member I actually know the name of this band is Elise, and that's just because her vocals stand out among everything else about this band. She's an amazing vocalist. I'd rank her right up there with Christina Scabia. Awesome. I love it. This album, though, like I said, it misses the mark quite substantially. While I prefer the screaming as being a little bit more aggressive and standout-ish, this album comes out as being a little bit of the black sheep of the band. While it's not necessarily bad, it's more average, as I said before. And the reason for that being is the songs don't really have a mind of their own. Nothing really grabs my attention and makes me want to listen to it over and over again, with the exception of a few songs on here, such as Dynamite, Drop Dead Cynical, and Trinity. And of course, maybe to a minor extent, the title track. And I suppose Unreal is alright, but another thing that is really not that good on this album is the chemistry. And like I said, with bringing in a new vocalist to complete that trifecta, of course you're going to have a little bit of clashing with the styles. I mean, maybe I do like the screaming better on this album, but maybe the previous screaming vocalist was a little bit more of a better fit for the band, but we will be able to tell that in greater detail on their next album whenever they decide to release it. So this album, for me, my favorites on it, like I said, Dynamite, Drop Dead Cynical, actually the first 4 tracks, and Unreal is a really great song. Other than that, though, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of filler on here. Songs like Digital World, True, it just comes off as kind of a sappy song that doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, I do enjoy listening to it. It's a decent song on its own right, but it just sounds like they're just trying to recapture the next Burn With Me, and it just doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't go that extra mile in terms of sound, in terms of structure, and in terms of just the way they're doing it. It just sounds a little contrived. So it's a good song, or a decent song, I suppose, but just not one of my favorites. Unreal, kind of the same thing. Danger Zone, Highway to the... No. Not that Danger Zone, not Top Gun, folks, especially since that is a pretty decent movie, but this is a different Danger Zone. It's okay. Not one of my favorites, but I'm not going to say it's bad. Skyline, to be honest with you, I don't even remember what it sounds like. It's probably a very, very average song, though. An Ordinary Abnormality, kind of the same thing, average. Exhale is okay. And 13 and 14 for the tracks, 13 and 14, are both acoustic songs of older material, Trinity and True. The acoustics on this album, I will say, are better than the ones found on the Nexus. Trinity sounds very good and very well polished, very well produced as an acoustic song. And I really like it. It really brings out the characteristics of Elise Ride's voice, and the guitar just fits along perfectly with the smooth melody, and the way that the clean male vocalist is singing just goes along with it even better. True, kind of the same thing. It still has sort of that going nowhere contravality. I don't even know how to say it. It's contrived, basically contravality, something like that. But it is a good song as well, and they do a good job producing another ballad for a acoustic song, is what I'm trying to say. But overall, this album falls short of any sort of benchmark for this band, and that's really, really disappointing because Amaranthe pretty much had no failures in them. Amaranthe was that band that produced two great albums practically back to back. I mean, 2011 and 2013, only 2 years apart, and then they're coming out with this new album the next year in 2014. Everyone's all stoked, and then boom, we get this. It's good, but I'll take the Nexus and their first album over this any day. So overall, I'm going to give this one probably a 7.5 out of 10, and there's my baby crying. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.